What is going on, guys? My name is Jake, and this is the long-awaited, well, not really long-awaited, but long-delayed 5.2 Death Knight, Frost Death Knight breakdown. Not much has changed when along the lines of what Frost Death Knight's got in the 5.1 patch, because we didn't get anything, and we're not getting anything in 5.2. But the way I play my Death Knight has changed slightly, so I figured that I would give you guys a little inside look to how I'm playing now. Yeah, I've reforged different, uses a few different moves. It's something that you could be using in RPGs that'll make you a far more effective Death Knight. So first things first, I have reforged all my gear into crit and mass. I'm sorry, not crit. That's 5.1. I've reforged it all into haste and mastery. Reason why I'm stacking more mastery than I am haste as a Frost Death Knight is really simple. It's because of the Frozen Heart. If you guys don't know what Frozen Heart is, I'll show you right here. Frozen Hearts are mastery. It makes all frost damage increased. So our main attacks are going to be Obliterate, Frost Strike, and Howling Blast, which are all frost, which means, they're going to be stronger, so you can't go wrong with that. Not only that, but we're also going to be gemming a little bit differently. The way I'm gemming now is high PvP resilience with some PvP power. My resilience is 63.19% and my power is at 50.15. Now, I'm not full Malevolent. These numbers are obviously going to change, but to show you the way I'm gearing, I'm not using any real heavy gems that involving strength. Matter of fact, the strength gem you see right here on my head is the only strength gem I have. Everything else is either straight PvP resilience or a mix of PvP resilience. Oh, that one has strength in it. Nah, put my foot in my mouth. But no, if you just look at them, it's PvP resilience, it's PvP power, and it's just keeping yourself really defensive, if anything. The way you're going to keep yourself defensive in RPGs now, because Frost Death Knights get targeted so quickly every single time, is that you're going to have to stack resilience. Now, I'm not going to stack complete resilience, because I used to do that, and I figured my damage wasn't as good where I wanted it to be. It could have been better. I could have been hitting a lot harder in a few situations where if I had a little extra power or so, I probably would have downed a flag carrier. That would have led to a win, and instead it was a loss. So try to give yourself a good balance between having PvP power and PvP resilience. Now let's just get on to the talents and glyphs. Talents and glyphs are pretty much just similar to what I used before. And instead of using Roiling Blood, I'm using Unholy Blight. Still using the Lichborne macro. This one is a pick your own poison kind of tree. I'm just using Asphyxiate because it's good to lock out a healer immediately. Make them trinket early, or they're going to be sitting for 5 seconds not doing a thing. And that's especially good to put on a H-Pally or a Resto Druid. Chillblains is good because you can stop flag carriers. Death Advance is good so you can catch up with kiters, So you can't really go wrong in any of those trees. Still going to be using Death Pact, still using Blood Tap, and Gorfiend's Grasp is now being used more often because the combo of a Frost Fire Mage putting down a ring, and you can just group them into it and freeze an entire team. You cannot go wrong there. Glyphs I'm going to be using are the Glyph of Death Grip. It makes my Death Grip 5 yards longer. I figured being a target caller, that's going to give you an edge. 5 yards, you guys might not think 5 yards is much, but when you get down to it, when you see someone just get out of your range, that 5 yards still probably going to give you another half a second to rip them in, so it's definitely worth using. Still using AMS. It's probably the best glyph for a Death Knight to have. Being able to your AMS to absorb 100% of incoming damage, and when you look at the number, 177,000 incoming damage. That's amazing to have, so definitely got to go for the glyph of AMS. And the last one is Glyph of Death and Decay. This is a very optional glyph. You can really change it up. If you're going to be going on a map like Gilneas, I suggest you use this. Just because you're going to be rushing waterworks. You're a Death Knight, you're the fastest on the field. What you want to do is you want to cut across right when they're about to be in the water. You put a Death and Decay on the water itself. So when they're swimming across, they're slowed. You're slowing their entire team down. It's a great little trick you're going to do on them to make them slow. If you don't want to run Death and Decay, you can run Icebound Fortitude, which means you're going to get it quicker. It's really going to get reduced in time. It's only going to last about 3 seconds, but you get it back twice as fast. Another great one is Icy Touch. Dispel one magical benefit or one helpful benefit. If you're not using Asphyxiate, you can go with Strangulate. So if you're catching them in a cast, you can make that last 2 seconds longer. And if you're going to go for really heavy gripping, you can use Glyph of Unholy Command. As soon as you kill somebody, you get another. So you really can't go wrong with any of those glyphs. I can say Dark Successor is really for a blood DK. Enduring Infection is just never worth it. Don't ever take Enduring Infection, ever. And Chains of Ice it doesn't do the damage that you need it to do. It's really not worth it. And when it comes to your minor glyphs, these two are completely optional. These are just personal preference, because if you use the Glyph of Horn Winter, you get this little snowstorm around you. And the Glyph of Deathgate is just good, because anyone who's played a Death Knight and they want to go to the Ebb and Hold, it's a fucking cast that takes forever. You put on Deathgate, you get there pretty quick. But the one glyph that you do need that is a minor glyph is going to be the Glyph of Resilient Grip. Let's say somebody can't be pulled when you're trying to pull them in as a target caller. Well, that's going to reset your death grip. So you can just go ting, 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 pull them back in until they just decide they want to come to you. You can't go wrong with having that. I can honestly say Resilient Grip and Ice and Anti-Magic Cell with Resilient Grip these are the three main glyphs you're going to be needing as a target calling Frost Death Knight in 5.2. Now let's get on to simple rotation. One thing I hear a lot is that people have trouble beating warriors. When warriors go into second wind, it's impossible to beat them. Well, not impossible, but it's a fucking fight that's just not very fun. Well, there's a way to round that fight, and it's your Necrotic Strikes. You stack Necros on them, you're going to just bypass their second wind. Now, here's the thing. Necrotics, not very strong. 27,000, 29,000, not powerful, okay? We know that. But the thing is, you're stacking Necrotics on them. So let's just take a look at what Necrotic actually does. It does 165% weapon damage and absorbs healing. Okay? And it slows down any type of casting. And now with a warrior, you don't have to worry about that. But you can use this on healers, mind you, that are getting low. It slows down their cast speed by 25%. Okay? And mind you, another thing you put into mind is that these Necrotics each last 10 seconds. So it's not like, okay, I have one Necrotic and now he's kiting away. Oh crap, I gotta get it on quick. No, you have 10 seconds to catch up to him. And if you get something like a Killing Machine proc, you hit him with that, and then just get another Necrotic on him, you're gonna be taking down anybody with low health. You're gonna be absorbing any healing they have, and that's why what you need to do is actually macro it. So you can actually maximize your amount of Necrotics by making it so you're actually casting Blood Tap and your Necrotic Strike. So if you're fighting the warrior, right, you're going to have a nice amount of your blood taps up, and you only got 2 death runes, right? You only got 2. Well, put it like this. We're going to have our max amount of frost strikes, okay? You got 12. You only have 2 death runes when we're complete, so there we go. We have 2 death runes, so that's 1, 2. Now you're out of Necrotics. But since you have that macro, automatically resets it, and you're going to get a few more out of it. So technically, you can get about 4, maybe 5 Necrotics, depending how quick you can do it. And you can just stack that on them extremely hard. And with the amount of runic power that you can generate as a Frost Death Knight, it's extremely easy to keep your Necrotics up. I mean, it's almost too easy. You just gotta play it right, and you can't be using them for trying to get your obliterates. You gotta save them for your Necrotics. You just gotta save them for Necrotics. Because if you look at this, absorbing the next 300,000 healing. So, unless there's an army of Resto Druids in tree form, whoever you just stack that many Necrotics onto, yeah, they're not going to live anymore. They're pretty much dead. Any other changes that have come with this way I'm playing now is really just using Soul Reaper a lot more, and what a lot of Death Knights like to do with Soul Reaper is wait for the target to hit 35% for it to happen, but I prefer to apply my Soul Reaper when they're about 40-45%, because mind you, Soul Reaper is not an instant like an execute. You got 5 seconds on it, okay? 5 seconds. So if you are strong enough or confident enough with your burst that you think that you can get the target down to 35% within 5 seconds, then it's going to hit them like out of nowhere. It's going to hit them like a truck. I mean, when you're hitting them normally, like let's just say you're even doing that, you're stacking your Necrotics, stacking Necrotics, and then all of a sudden you just apply a Soul Reaper on them, and they're not getting any healing, they fall to that 35% mark. That Soul Reaper, it may just hit them, especially if you have your Trinket popped and Pillar of Frost, you might just hit them for over 100k. You can easily hit them for 100k if you play it right, and that's going to drop anybody at 35%. I don't think anyone is nearly that HP when you're just stacking Necros, you're hitting Soul Reapers, and you're just keeping the applied pressure. Now, one thing I'd like to notice here is that I did get rid of Roiling Blood for Unholy Blight. What you want to use Unholy Blight for is when a mage is putting down a Ring of Frost and you do a Gorfien's Grasp into the team, that's when you immediately pop your Unholy Blight. So everybody that just got gripped also just got completely infected. So that means you don't have to worry about applying your dots to everybody, because you just either hit the entire team or a majority of the entire team, taking down fucking a good chunk of their health by just consistent dots with your team hitting them at the same time and beginning to choose your Necro target. It's great. It's really great. And I can tell you, for a burst macro, not really a burst macro, but a one-shot type deal, what you're going to want to do is you're going to have the same trinket macro that I showed you guys before, where it's you're popping your trinket, you're hitting Outbreak on a single target, and you're popping Pillar of Frost. Then what you're going to want to do is have your Empower Rune weapon done after your 2 first opening obliterates, or 3 opening obliterates, mind you. And then what you're going to want to do is, after that your Empower Rune weapon is hit, it's all necrotics. Just necrotic, 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 and then spam your Frost Strikes to reapply necrotics. It's not the biggest and it's not the fastest burst down, but the thing is, it's not going to be able to be healed through. That's because that's just how it works. They can't be beat. When you do something like that, you're preventing any type of healing incoming. It's perfect, really. I mean, there's no way to heal the person, and you're just consistently bursting. You just can't beat that. So I figured I'd make this one a lot quicker than I did the last video. And I think it's a little more informative, so I hope you guys enjoy this. And also, below in the description are links to the first ever WoWcast. It is on SoundCloud. We will be uploading all the WoWcasts to SoundCloud, all free downloads. And to everyone who participated in the WoWcast, channel links will be in the description as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the first WoWcast. We had a lot of fun making it. It took us about 2 hours to get what we made together, and I think listening to the full thing, it's about 40 minutes, is completely worth it if you're really going to be pushing heavy cap, and if you're just going for heavy rating in 5.2 and just want to be an overall better PvPer, I can say. Because we probably made one of the best comps, and the way it's looking, it probably could be one of the best comps in WoW history for RPGs. So that's it, guys. I truly hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like and a comment below, and as always, have a good one, you guys.